All right, it is time for Flip and Friends. I am your host, Kenneth Davis. Follow me at That's Davis. The show is executive produced by Ryan Bukoveski. Follow him at Ryan B. Ski and Ryan B. Ski 1 on Instagram. Last but not least, our brother, Sidney Brown, part of Second City Sports and also contributor to We Are Regal Radio. Follow Kid at SidKid80, especially with hockey about to start off. Sid is one of the best hockey aficionados out, period. Corey Crawford announced his retirement, which is great. Please retire, Corey Crawford, because I don't want to see you go somewhere else and get your noggin rung. Just lay it down. You won 2 Stanley Cups. I'm happy. I would have preferred. The worst part about this is he could have done this with the Hawks sweater on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he had to sit there and go out and still see if maybe someone wanted to sign him or not. And I'm sure maybe somebody would have signed him. Maybe the money wasn't right. But the fact that he could have done this in a Hawks sweater rather than being a free agent and going out. But I'm still happy because he was a guy over the last 2.5 years at least, I was worried about taking too many hits. Like, he came back and then he got hit again. It's just, yeah, man, bro, you got 2 of them. A lot of people don't have one. You got 2 of them. Corey Crawford, man, going to sit out. There's no reason to keep putting your life on the risk, your long-term life. But listen, we had a crazy week. Hopefully you checked out that Davis show. We definitely opened up and off top with what took place at the Capitol building and also took place in a lot of state Capitol buildings this past week as far as insurrection and protest. State Capitol building, someone was just protest, but we know there was insurrection that took place in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, after Trump sent them on their damn way down the street to 1600 Pennsylvania down to the Capitol building and told them to, kick it off! Rudolph Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, actually said there will be a trial by combat. I mean, we couldn't make this gibberish up if we wanted to, all right? So just kicking it off with the show. Something that we knew was going to happen. This is from Yahoo News. Twitter said it issued a permanent suspension of Donald Trump's account on Friday, even in the latest escalation by the social media companies against the president they accused of spreading misinformation and inciting violence. In a post to the site, Twitter explained its decision to block Trump from sharing from his over 88 million followers, citing an attack on the U.S. Capitol. After close review with tweets at Real Donald Trump's account, the context around them, we have permanently suspended the account due to risk of further incitement and violence, the company said. I don't want to go any further. Listen. Twitter not as much as Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook is really just the devil, all right, as far as allowing hate speech to just reign supreme. And hate speech and free speech are not the same thing, you know what I'm saying? But you knew this was coming. One this week, the FCC basically came out and was like, yeah, what Trump wants to do with the social media companies, we're not going to do it. So they was off. He's leaving anyway, so his power is gone. But they were sitting there and they got off scot-free. So now it was time to put the squeeze on. Because, these social media companies should have done this years ago. Years and years ago, this man was spewing lies and inciting rage. It didn't get to this point, even though us being people of color and Ryan, who's a brother.
And Ryan.
Us being people of color and Ryan.
Congrats, Ryan.
have talked excessively
I made it.
Talked excessively about how his words have emboldened people to do things against us, i.e. cops, i.e. just regular Joe Blows being letting their racism just blow hard and bloviate. He's emboldened these people. So I still say shame on Twitter and shame on Facebook, because you should have stepped up years ago to do this and stop being wimps and fucking bitches, to say the least. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
The old banning on the social medias. Yeah, it's a tricky one because you do fall into that potential slide of controlling. I already feel like social media controls the world too much to begin with. And so when they ban people, even if it's rightfully so, it's a slippery slope, because then where does it kind of end? So I worry about that a little bit, but I understand exactly why the platforms want to, ban this dude from talking. Right now, he's trying to incite just craziness. And he was the one that, was Mr. President that said all the protesting and rioting during the summer was just condemning all of it, period. End of story. And now he's just inciting it. Period. End of story. You know, he's just doing his thing where he basically divides us because he doesn't care about any of us. He likes his people and his friends and his family, and that's all he really cares about. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, I think I would love if humanity could just reassess social media in general. I don't know if we could ever go back to that point, or just like kind of stop freaking out about it as much. Like, it just, to me, it's in general just really unhealthy. That's why it's very difficult for me to participate in it. And I don't like the mental abuse that you kind of have with social media.
You using it all wrong, bro.
I just,
you
I
didn't
can't.
look at none of this
I
busted
can't.
challenges. You didn't check out none of this busted challenges on Instagram this last couple days.
I don't want.
Oh, they listen. I went down a cavern of busted challenge yesterday. Listen, you just used your Instagram all wrong.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh,
you ever
Lord.
just have something you're just like, nope, I don't like it. I get why people care about it, but nope, not for me.
I stayed off of social media and only got on social media because of the show, D and Davis. I'm let you know how I got on social media after Sydney got on social media. All right. Let you know how late I got on social media.
Wow,
right?
shot at
Sydney.
This is
Mr.
seriously, yeah, this is proof.
It's not a shot at Sid, but you know, sometimes Sid be like, hold up, right? I got on social media later, and I mean, just listen, I said Facebook is the devil, and I'm not lying. But I do like the aspect that Facebook allows me to connect with my family members and some of my old friends. Back in the days, I kind of didn't, because I was like, the reason we don't talk is life. Like, whatever happened to life, and generally people just went their own ways, right? And grew apart, which, listen, it's still like that. It's just you can say hi and happy birthday to somebody. But Instagram, no. Like, I enjoy Twitter. And I don't see another thing, too. I don't follow a lot of people who do hate speech. You know, so I am black as fuck. Let me lead with that, all right? You look at some of my Instagram, it's going to be news, sports, ladies, and some pro-blackish, all right? It's going to be, that's what I'm going to be. But
I'm all not four could be the same, too.
Right, but I'm not a hate speech person. I necessarily wasn't raised by it. But let me say this: I'm not an idiot, and I still believe in protecting myself and protecting those who are weaker than me and those who look like me. I just wanted to point that out. But Sid, what were your thoughts as far as social media's banning of Trump?
I'll piggyback off of Ryan's point. I do like social media for the fact that we do, at least we live here in the United States. We are under the protection of free speech, but as we all know, it can only go so far. Of course, you cannot yell fire in the movie theater, and then there's no fire, and it causes chaos and mayhem. So we cannot do that. So it only goes so far. I'm with you, Ryan. We social media. I know these companies have to protect their bottom line, so they have to be careful right there. But what President Trump tweets, let's just say this. I'll give us a quick example. Let's just say we're kidding around and whatnot. We're talking about favorite food, and Ryan says my favorite food is pizza. I say my favorite food is lasagna, and Ken would say, my favorite food is hot dogs. I get mad and upset, and I just tweet at both of y'all, whether it's Instagram or Twitter. I'm gonna kick your ass. Of course, you guys might take it as a joke, but I'm serious as hell. So, as her member Edwards would say, don't press send, because you can always you can always take a message in context. You don't know what that person was thinking about when they sent that message. If I say I'm gonna kick your ass, you don't know unless I tell you up front. You don't know what I'm going to kick your ass meant. It was Sid joking, or did he really mean it? So it's kind of blurred lines there.
Yeah, but there's also a difference when you're going into detail on how to kick my ass, and also you're spreading lies that incite people to do things that are try to overturn the government. You know, like, I mean, we're talking about 2 months of lying about this election. We're talking about Josh Hawley and trick ass Ted Cruz, even after the Capitol building was ransacked, still standing up there playing bullshit. Like, listen, 5 people died. And this is another thing, and I said this on the show. See, the problem is, and you still see it, these motherfuckers don't care because their life, it doesn't affect their life. And until motherfuckers ran up on their ass, that shit was real, right? I saw a lady She I think she's the first Republican woman from South Carolina got elected. Said in 2016 she campaigned for Trump, and in her primary he campaigned for her, right? And she was still in there talking about, both sides need to come together and nobody needs to do anything as far as, censuring the president. Listen, this is the same shit y'all did with Reconstruction with these motherfuckers. The same shit keeps playing out. White motherfuckers get to do terrorist shit, and other motherfuckers be like, man, that shit, either they're individuals, right? These are lone wolves. That was a ton of lone wolves out in that motherfucker, wasn't it? Right there, it's a lone wolf. He's a loner. And or you know what I'm saying, it's just some stray dog or whatever, instead of paying attention to this domestic terrorism that's we've known that shit. Dog, we don't even talk about it. These motherfuckers was planning on kidnapping the governor of Michigan, taking her out to the woods and killing her. And it's not even like, yeah, right, they was gonna do that shit. And yeah, they was some idiots. Them motherfuckers went into the Capitol building strapped. And then and going further to the social media aspect, you don't think it was odd that none of those guys had long guns out there that were going into the Capitol building? You don't think that was odd? I'm gonna tell you why it was not. Because motherfuckers told motherfuckers not to bring them, but you knew that was strapped. You know that motherfuckers had Glocks in them big jackets and shit that they had in that motherfucker. Them motherfuckers was strapped. You heard about the Molotov cocktails and the napalm, homemade napalm. The fuck got homemade napalm, right? The fuck is this, Nam? Right? Like, dude, I'm just saying.
Vietnam, man.
Man, it's going crazy. Like, so again, I'm with y'all on the part of, man, there should be no censorship. But shit, when it's a fucking yakko, man, go ahead, censor that motherfucker. Look, I'm a proponent of Minister Farrakhan, right? They banned him now. So that shit is hand in hand. And I'm not putting Farrakhan to Trump's level. Yeah, I said it. Right? Like I'm saying, but it's just, dude, no, this shit, we got to stop acting like everything is normal when some real crazy shit was going on. And look, it's so crazy. And I've been saying this to my younger cousin. I was talking to my younger cousin Friday for a couple hours. I said, man, it's gonna be weird not having a crazy president. Like, for real, it's gonna be wild not to be where the wildest shit comes out of your president's mouth every day or every other day, and it's just like regular again for the most part. Not saying that I'm gonna be agreeing and everything in Biden's administration either. So making it seem like now the big kumbaya has come home and everything is good to go. But yeah, I don't like censorship to a certain degree, but I'll say you can censor that motherfucker. Like I have no problem with it. Why wouldn't we censor someone who lies all the time, who has immense power to get other people to commit crimes that can put them in danger and other people in danger, has trampled on the tenets of this nation, and like, hell no. And you gotta fucking you gotta fucking and as I was saying on the group chat, you gotta what's the name? You gotta what the fuck am I trying to say? Impeach him. I'm sorry. You have to make sure, and this is why I was saying with the initial impeachment situation, you have to make sure this dude can't threaten us with running again, right? Because it's not even that he'll actually do. Think about how much more money he's leaving with $250 million or more. That how his pact is set up, he can spend it however. Usually, when you look at the type of money that that campaign money, you can't spend that shit. You got to give it to somebody else's campaign. You can't just, like, when we see people get in trouble, when like the dude down here, the House representative that turned his office into like Dalton Abbey here in Illinois or whatever. Like you can't do whatever with the monies that you're given. You know what I'm saying? I don't even say that came from campaign money, but you get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? But how his pact is set up, that's Trump's money. You gave a rich man $300 million that lost and lied to you, and that something needs to be done. Now, again, if you're an idiot, you're just an idiot, and you should be allowed to be taken advantage of. But that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like we there's situations where there's plenty of older people, and we try to safeguard them from someone scamming them, right? We don't say they old. Oh well, motherfuckers should know the internet better, right? No. We try to protect them from getting scammed. So again, that's just my opinion.
See, here's the thing about the media, Ken. Here's the dirty secret. Even though we're hopefully not going to have the daily soap opera anymore once Joe Biden is officially sworn in, let's be honest here. The media behind closed doors, they're upset because even though I'm sure that they were sick of reporting on these silly stories about Russia and other stuff that was going on with his family in his life throughout the past 4 years. Let's be honest here. Anything that Trump did, whether you loved him or hate him, people watched. And let's be honest here, Ken, with his campaign up until the 2016 election, he didn't have to really spend any money because all the networks, including Fox News, were coming to interview him. So that was quote unquote smart on his part. So,
Right.
but I think the media is really playing both sides of the fence here. Yeah, it'll be relieved that Joe Biden's in there, but let's be honest here. The more, especially where we live here in the United States, the more salacious things are, whether we love it or hate it, the more that we're going to watch and pay attention to see what happens next. Why do you think reality TV is so popular?
A great point. Listen, sitting here close to home here in Chicago, this is from the Griot. John Catanzara, who was elected last May as the president of the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police, is defending the people who participated in the violent siege of the U.S. Capitol that resulted in the death of a police officer. These are some of the things that my homie said. There was no arson, there was no burning or anything there, no looting, even though we saw dude with the podium walking fuck up out of that bitch, and mad laptops was stolen. There was little destruction of property. Okay. That he talked to WBZ in a Wednesday evening phone interview. It was a bunch of pissed off people that feel like an election was stolen somehow, some way. Because John, who was reprimanded in 2017 for posing with a sign supporting Trump while wearing his uniform, told local outlets that he too has doubt of the results in the 2020 presidential election. Now, this is the guy that's in charge of the Fraternal Order of the Police. All right, so he's not
the union.
Yeah, the union. All right, I don't have any doubt that something shady happened in the election. You're not going to convince me that many people voted for Biden. The thing about how crazy that sounds. Right? Now this has been both of these guys got the most votes ever. Trump losing got the second most votes ever. Biden winning got the first most votes ever. And he says, I don't believe that many people will vote for Biden. He said, I'll never rest my life. Never for the rest of my life will you convince me of that. But again, it's still down to proof.
He lost the popular vote to Hillary.
Right. And again, because we know Republicans would let Democrats get away with some shit like this, right? That sounds like the Republican Party, correct? I mean, legally, not what the shit that Hawley was trying to do during a fucking I don't even know what the fuck you call what was taking place with the joint with the House and the Senate. As far as it just being ceremonial is what I'm trying to say. Doing something that was ceremonial was counting electoral votes is what I'm trying to say. Evidence matters until it appears shame on them for what they did. But it was out of frustration. There was no fights. There's no obvious violence in this crowd. They pushed past security and made their way into the city chamber. Did they destroy anything when they were there? No. All right. Now we know this is bullshit, correct? But think about this. This is the police union's president, correct?
And
he just said, and let's just hypothetically say they didn't destroy anything and they didn't steal anything and people didn't die. They didn't crush a cop who we saw in the news this last couple of days getting crushed outside of a cop getting killed with apparently being beaten by a fire extinguisher. They broke into the Capitol building and he was saying that they made their way to the Senate chamber and he's saying that that's fine. That's what he's saying. He's saying that is okay. If you don't, this is someone that's in charge of the cops or protecting the cops, but still in charge of their union, and is saying that none of this shit happened that we know happened. We saw it with our own eyes. But regardless of that happening, it's fine that they did it because they were mad. This is the problem with domestic terrorism and white folks. All right.
Well, can I say one quick thing? Like, I think it's fine if they went there, if they didn't do the things that you said they actually didn't do, but they actually did them. So that's the problem. Like, and then I think of, the systematic racism part of this and just the systematic oppression. Like, are cops, when George Floyd protests are going on, are they kind of like allowing it? Like, are they saying, oh, this is our First Amendment. People are just using freedom of speech. As long as we keep the peace, that's all that matters. Like, no. They were thinking that this is basically a threat against them as an entire unit. And this group, they allow in because they feel like this is their side. So, of course, they're going to let them just walk right in without any kind of violence going in there. But then they incite the violence as soon as they get in there. with breaking stuff, doing people dying for God's sakes in the Capitol building.
Let me push back real quick, because you said that you think if they didn't incite violence, it was fine that they went in there. I
think it's fine if you want to protest your government, period.
But you think it's fine that they broke into the Capitol, but they forced their way into the Capitol building?
Well, I'm just saying, like, again, if, let's say, I don't know, years from now, a group of people feels oppressed and they want to demonstrate by going in there, are we going to condemn it the same way that we should condemn this? That's why it's a slippery slope to me. Like, yes, what they did was wrong because of the stuff that they did. That wasn't a peaceful protest. It was not. They had no intention of being a peaceful protest. Now, if somebody were to do that and they were organized to do something like that and they felt they had to do something extra, like go into the Capitol building, if there is no violence, I don't have a problem with it. If there's no breaking of stuff.
But see, there's a problem with that is even if there's no violence, there could still be intimidation. And you could basically destroy the fabric. And I'm not saying like I'm black, that the fabric of this country is all fine. I'm not saying that. But you just think about, let's hypothetically say this, Ryan. They got in there, they didn't do nothing, but they stood around the Senate and Congress and intimidated them just by their presence and numbers to sit there and not ratify or not verify that Biden had won the election.
I agree. Like intimidation can start being a negative thing, but that's a line, you know, like that's a subjective line.
But see, this is the thing I can say. Like, for instance, from you, I think that's partially privilege, and I'll tell you why. There's never a chance that if I'm an oppressed person in this country, there will never be an opportunity if Black people peacefully walk into the Capitol building that they will let us, and we don't touch nothing, we don't destroy anything, let us just walk in there and show our presence. They will shoot us on the fucking front steps. So I don't have the option of saying, you know what, maybe it's a time that, you know, it's tyranny taking place and this has to be done, because I wouldn't get the option ever. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I wouldn't have that option. So
I guess I look at it as an ideal thing, but you're right. Like, that's not real. That's not reality kind of thing.
But I get the point that you're making, but like, no, there's reasons why you're not supposed to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, here in this country, this flawed experiment that we have never had full-on insurrection. I mean, outside of the Civil War, we've never had like a full-on insurrection like this. It'd be different if this was American. Every 50 years, someone tries to overthrow the government. I'm with you there, Ryan. Right? Like, sure. Hey, this is how we do this shit. We got to redo it over again. I'm with you. This shit hasn't happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hasn't happened. And on top of that, the motherfuckers was getting patted on the back walking out the motherfucker. I swear, and I said it to you Thursday when we recorded the show, this shit was like they was getting off a ride at Six Flags and they was going down to the park where they give you your picture where you was on the ride and shit, right? They may as well just picked up the keychain with their picture on that motherfucker. Like, it was a.
That's why I said it's not the same. Like, police and people of authority in the summertime when the peaceful protests were going on had a chip on their shoulder, like, this ain't right. Versus this time, they were like, "Oh, what up, bud?
I understand. That's my cousin.
Yeah,
I want to make sure."
Yeah, it was a setup from the beginning. It wasn't a protest to begin with. It was disguised as a protest, but we all know it wasn't a protest.
I think, like, where I'm coming from too is just my own personal belief. Like, this systematic shit has gone on way too fucking long, and it's everywhere. It is in every part, and I like the idea, even though we're not doing it correctly, of the people taking back some of this power. But we're not together. We're splintered right now, so it's not going to work. We'd have to be together as a unit, and who knows if that's... Hopefully Biden can get that maybe moving on the right track. I don't know, but we know that Trump was never going to allow that to happen with what he was doing with his divide. I don't know if we can come together as people, but if we do, and hopefully when we do, we need to start taking it back from the government too, because this is getting ridiculous.
I have no problem with that. I think just as you've seen that you need to take some powers back from the president, I think that the person, the Speaker of the House, and you know the same with the Senate with Mitch McConnell. Listen, those powers need to be taken back. The fact that Mitch McConnell was allowed to basically freeze government operations.
He was like a second president doing whatever
Exactly,
he wanted.
exactly. It's too much, man. It's definitely too much. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in that. One thing, we got the reason why we knew why Lil Wayne was out there for Trump, but Bloomberg reports Lil Wayne and Kodak Black are among the people that Donald Trump is considering pardoning in his final days in office. Trump will reportedly announce these pardons on January 19th in his final days. They better, I don't know, man. Trump probably ain't feeling the same for you black asses now. Wayne gained Trump's favor when he praised his so-called work of his criminal reform and his vision to help black communities in his platinum plan. While Wayne didn't explicitly say he endorsed the president, his show of support just days before the election seemed to imply that which candidate he wanted in favor of. Again, I said the same thing before Urlacher said the crazy shit. Oof. All right. When he was in Oval Office, that he was trying to look out for Casey. Hey, listen, if you trying to get off and get a family member off, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Kodak situation once brought up to Trump's attention when Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson took to Twitter earlier this week to request that he commute his sentence before leaving office. You know what? We like Lamar Jackson a lot. This is a second little Trump slide. Remember when Trump tweeted at him and back at Trump?
Yeah.
You know, he kind of getting away with it.
Is he actually Louisville Red? Is that what you're trying to say?
So Trump is also reportedly mulling over whether to give preemptive pardons to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Senior Advisor Stephen Miller, his daughter Ivanka, her husband Jared Kushner. Why again? If your guy's up and up, he got to pardon everybody, and of course pardon himself. This is the key too. Dude, listen, I'm gonna tell you this, man. First of all, Ted Cruz, man, you one of the biggest hoes that ever hold in this world, man. Man, disrespect.
Wow, this jumped over from the last show.
Man, yeah. Listen, I can fully let it go, right? I gotta talk any hoops, no football, fuck all that. Ted Cruz, that man disrespects your wife, right? That man said your father had something to do with killing Kennedy. All right. That man totally just played you like a chump, and you on his dick so motherfucking hard for those motherfuckers. And the crazy point is, the people that vote for Donald Trump are not voting for you because you're spineless. You know what I'm saying? Like the qualities that Donald Trump has that are sexy to them, Ted Cruz has none of those motherfucking qualities, right? Like he comes off as being fucking spineless. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the fact that,
but don't they kind of like that a little bit too?
The spine, I don't think they like. No. They will still want. They don't want the spineless person to be their leader, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's not. Yeah,
he's a good soldier, just not a good general.
You know, he's a handler. He takes care of things in the shadows and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, when you're talking about now, this is the point I was going to say because I brought in Ted Cruz. Now the next motherfucker, Mike Pence. If you dare, right? And I doubt it happens. Now I didn't know if it was going to happen anyway because I didn't think Trump. I thought Trump would want every day he could be president to be president. And even though it's been suggested that he would step down and then allow, of course, the vice president would become president, he would sit there and pardon Trump because it's legally, Trump probably can't pardon himself. Like Trump pardoned himself, they may be able to take that. They may be able to legally lock his ass up for that. As far as federal crimes, we know as far as local state crimes, he's in trouble in New York City. The district in Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? But Mike Pence, this motherfucker sent the squad, right? They was out there talking about, hang Mike Pence, and you're in there with your wife and children, right? And again, he didn't even check on your ass, right? Shawty sent the motherfucking squad, the SS up the street on your ass, and so if your ass pardons him, let alone, you know you should hit the 25th Amendment on this motherfucker. You know you should hit the 25th Amendment on this motherfucker. But okay, you don't. But the fact of you pardon him, man, I know you a hoe. I just had to add that part. I know you a hoe. That's the difference.
Don't you think he is though? He's got to know the hoe that he was getting in bed with. Come on.
So
Listen.
here's the thing about Vice President Pence, Ken and Brian. Is he going to do the best interest for his co-worker, which his boss is the president, for his party, or is he going to do what's his best interest for himself? You know.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. probably now for himself isn't what for himself was last week. For himself last week was stick with Trump because I want to be president. And see, the difference is Trump followers, they would have none of these guys are really going to still galvanize them like Trump does. But Trump followers they would fall in line more with Pence than they would with Ted Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Pence, you know, he's a bit off, but he's a tad bit more masculine than a Ted Cruz is.
Do you think he's just not eccentric enough, though? I feel like he has no eccentricism.
Don't think he's eccentric? I feel like he is eccentric. Him and Moss.
It's so
Moss.
he is in a way, but it's very subtle. It's very dry. It's like he looks like the old man that he is, like with his eccentricism. Like I need a little showman, I would think, if you're on that side.
I agree with you. But listen, okay, to go with what you're saying, and speaking of showman, this is from the Chicago Tribune. A Republican colleague rebuked Josh Hawley on the Senate floor. A home state newspaper editorial board declared that he has blood on his hands. But Josh Hawley, the Missouri senator who staged an electoral college challenge that became the focus of a violent siege on the U.S. Capitol, the words of his political mentor were the most personal. Supporting Josh Hawley was the worst decision I ever made in my life, former Missouri Senator John Danforth told the Associated Press on Thursday. He has consciously appealed to the worst. He has attempted to drive apart and has undermined the public belief in democracy, and that's a great damage. Now, you talking about somebody with a little bit of charisma. Your boy Josh Hawley right there now, with throwing up the power fist as he walks past and he sees the rebels coming past, right? And that listen, nice suit though, Josh. I must say that cut you had was nice. All right, you better hold on to that shit. But you know, you got somebody like Josh Hawley who was just full on, all right, full on as far as man. Look, I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. I want to be president. And this is the crazy thing. Let me ask y'all this. I thought about this. Something must be wrong with me because I don't want to be president. Nowhere is bad that I would just come up with bold face lies. Now, I thought about this too, so I'm diving into another one. So you got to bring me back if I dive too deep. Was Trump and what Trump was doing a bold-faced lie? Because I feel like, okay, the line is that bold-faced lie, right? But when you are sitting there and lying, obviously lying, know you lying, but are using that to create a false reality, it seems like it's past bold-faced lie. All right, that's just to me, I'm just thinking about that. But back to what I was saying. There's no way, I can see myself following party lines to a certain degree to become president, all right? But I can never see myself bloviating about an alternative reality. Like that's some different shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'm not just saying it, but saying it to the point where it's convincing people and it's brainwashing these motherfuckers. If you told me, kid, go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, that's where I just get crazy. Just really quick, like, how are people drinking this in? I don't get it. It's so fake. It's just like, what? But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're all pedophiles. Listen, I'm sure there's some fucking Democratic pedophiles. Let me say that. Yeah. But they're all pedophiles. It's like they're Republican pedophiles. They're all pedophiles and say, come on, y'all. Like right there, you're supposed to be like, this shit is going too far, right? Like, man, listen, you know what Nancy Pelosi and them do when everybody go home? They go up under that, man. That's when they start fucking them kids. You know, like, what the fuck is going on in this motherfucker?
And to think it's like a partisan thing, like, yeah,
right, yeah. When all these people bang together, listen, great point. All these people bang together anyway. Until recently, you always hear about the charm in the Senate. Like the Senate, the Senate looks down on the House. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, it's hundreds of them motherfuckers, right? The Senate is like the upper crust. And it's always like the Senate is like a country club. It's like, man, we on the same team, even though we on the opposition, right? So these people work together, these people hang out, and you think that these pedophiles, they just hanging out with these pedophiles and they're not doing the pedophilia with these motherfuckers. I'm just saying, if you believe that to that degree, that you have to accept that both parties are doing the same fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a black person. I'm not, man, Democrats are the best thing, man. They're so good. They look out for us so well. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Right.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Trump. We've known this for a long time. He followed him even before he became president. He's his own man. He's a man's man. He's going to do whatever he wants wants to do. He's been past the bold-faced lie part off the charts. And let's be honest here, many of the Republicans didn't like him when he was elected to office, so he had to quote unquote side register as a Republican. He couldn't really do anything as an independent because he's not really independent. He has an independent personality as far as I can do whatever I want, but his ideals politically doesn't fall with the independent party. It goes under the Republican Party. So Trump is his own man. We shouldn't really be surprised by this. So, like you said, he could tote the line, but he really went past the line since day one, since he was in office.
I totally agree. I wanted to add this too, real quick, to just end on the Josh Hawley part, where Ben Sass hit him with this. Republican Ben Sass hit his ass with this.
Senator Hawley was doing something that was really dumbass, and I have been clear about that in public and in private since long before he announced that he was going to do this. This was a stunt. It was a terrible, terrible idea, and you don't lie to the American people, and that's what's been going on. The American people have been lied to, chiefly by Donald Trump, and lies have consequences.
Lies have consequences.
Right? I mean, we learned that as kids, right?
Yeah.
This is like one of the first things your parents taught you. Your lies have consequences, right? And the crazy part is we're so detached from it. We still really, it's like, yeah, someone died, but it's kind of like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're so like, it should be even bigger. Like, man, these lies caused 5 people to die. But you know the real reason why we're like that? Because it wasn't more than 5 people. Because like that,
I was thinking you were going to say because he didn't even care about 200,000 dying from COVID. Ooh, what's 5?
You're right. I mean, that's a great point.
We're used to that. We're used to it. Like, people are dying. Oh, that's whatever. Oh, people die. They die every day. What's the deal?
So yeah, that just wanted to get that in because
you know how many lives we saved compared to the 200,000 we killed? Come on.
To actually say basically that millions of people would have died if I did nothing. Right. Like the bottom of the
You're
bar.
Lucky it's 200,000. You are lucky. Should have been more.
Over 300,000, but yeah.
You're lucky.
Listen, Maya Pinceto, dubbed SoHo Karen, for falsely accusing a black teen of stealing her phone, lashed out during an interview on CBS this morning with Gayle King, yesterday morning rather, in an interview which was taped just hours before Pinceto was arrested. Real quick, I definitely have to sit here and play this joint because Shuddy was full of herself. Did you? I saw this yesterday though, Ryan. Did you see what she hit Gayle with that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. We gotta go to the tape.
Yeah, I want to see this. I saw as soon as SoHo Karen and Gayle King, that automatically went in the flip email. Didn't even need to look further.
just threw it straight in there. We're going with this.
SoHo Karen, Gayle King. Okay.
Falsely accusing him of stealing her cell phone has been arrested in California.
Hold on. They gonna come into that shit and play what's the name?
Yeah,
and I give up
Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah. And I don't think that you don't use Goo Goo Dolls and shit like that.
Yeah, who is that producer? My lord.
Right. Ponsetto approached 14-year-old Keon Harold Jr. at a New York City hotel last month, accusing him of stealing her phone. His father, jazz musician Keon Harold, recorded the encounter and accused Ponsetto of racial profiling.
We have what you see 2 black people.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Now, the video shows Ponsetto trying to stop the teenager from leaving the hotel lobby and then rushing toward them. Hotel surveillance video shows the 22-year-old woman tackling Keon Jr. Now, he never had the phone. It turned up several minutes later at the hotel. New York City detectives went to California yesterday to coordinate Ponsetto's arrest in connection with the confrontation. She was contacted at a traffic stop in Ventura County near Los Angeles. Officials say that police had to pull her out of the car when she refused to get out. Now, in an exclusive interview, we had just done that interview yesterday afternoon. Her lawyer spoke with us before she was arrested. They told us that NYPD had not yet contacted them. Mia, help me understand, what made you think that Keon had your phone? That's why I'm confused. Why did you think he had it?
I was approaching the people that had been exiting the hotel, because in my mind, anybody exiting is probably the one that might be the one that is trying to steal my phone. I admit, yes, I could have approached the situation differently, or maybe not yelled at him like that and made him feel, you know, maybe some sort of inferior way, making him feel as if I was like hurting his feelings, because that's not my intention. I consider myself to be super sweet. I really never ever meant for it to like hurt him or his father either.
Are you saying that you were stopping everybody in the lobby, asking them about your phone? Is that what you're saying?
Not one, just the people.
The blacks.
Meantime, while the hotel manager was the footage, I just wanted to do
Melanin.
my part.
You just described yourself as super sweet. I know you've seen the video. When you look at the video, their reaction seems very extreme. It doesn't seem like it's someone who's super sweet.
How would you feel if you were alone in New York and you know you're going to spend
there were
time with your
black
family
people
during the
around.
holidays, and you lose the one thing that gets
With
stolen from you that
phones.
has all of the access to the only way that you're able to get back home?
I just don't think I would rule people is what I'm saying. No, you said you could have handled it better, but I just don't think I would randomly attack people in the manner in which you did. What do you think when you look at that video? You're standing there in your leggings and your flip-flops, and it looks like you're just going nuts, for a better word.
No, I'm letting him walk away with my phone.
I don't feel that that is who I am as a person. I don't feel like this one mistake does define me, but I do sincerely from the bottom of my heart apologize that if I made the son feel as if I assaulted him, or if I hurt his feelings or the father's feelings.
I don't believe one mistake defines anybody, but I think when I look at that particular video, you did more than just accuse him. The video seems to show that you physically attacked this young boy. You do see that too, right?
But at the end of the day, the dad did end up like slamming me to the ground and pulling my hair and throwing me and dragging me across the ground. So I will.
Where's
say
the
that.
evidence in that?
Yeah, but I think, you know, the video we saw, it looked like you had just attacked his son.
Yeah, the footage shows me attacking his son. Of attacking him how? Yelling at him? Yes. Okay, I apologize. Can we move on?
I know you're saying I don't need to, I just want to apologize, but I do think that there should be some context to your actions that day.
Okay, so basically, I'm a 22-year-old girl. Racism.
I'm too young.
Is
Wait,
I
these
was
lights,
one
they
girl
throw me off.
accusing
I was frozen in ice for 2 million years.
a guy about a phone, a crime. Where is the context in that?
Mia,
What is the deeper
Mia,
story
it's
here?
not, that's not the problem. You have to at least understand your actions that day. You seem to have attacked this little boy, this young boy, this teenager. You seem to have attacked this teenager about the phone. And then it turned out he didn't even have your phone. That's the thing. I mean, you're saying, look, I'm 22 years old. You're 22 years old, but you are old enough to know better. So I will say you're 22. I
Right,
get
Gayle,
it.
enough. The hotel did have my phone. The hotel did end up having my phone. I did get my belongings returned to me.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Right, Gayle.
Enough.
That was my favorite part. Enough. Now, the Harrell family's lawyer released a statement last night. They said this is not about an apology from someone who until a few days ago was claiming she did nothing wrong and in fact alleged that Keon Harrell Sr. had assaulted her, someone who targeted a 14-year-old black teenager because of the color of his skin. We'll have more of our interview with Miss Mia Ponsetto on Monday. You know, I actually felt for the attorney there who was really trying to help her. And then, you know, when she interjected, Mia would get upset about that. She insisted that she's not racial profiling. She has an explanation about that. And, you know, it was reported that an Uber driver returned the phone. She says that's not true. So she wanted to make an apology, but as I said to her in the interview, I'm not sure you're helping yourself here.
Well, the point is, he didn't have her phone.
No, he did not.
And
He did not.
interesting choice of hat, by the way.
Yeah. Also, the point is the video footage is pretty clear, and she doesn't seem quite ready to acknowledge what it shows.
Her lawyer, Sharon, sitting by her side, tried to help her. It's interesting you would point out the hat because Sharon said, you know, you might want to remove that hat.
No.
And she refused to do that.
Oh, baby.
Listen, that's the world that people live in right there. That's how you end up storming the Capitol building, right? Motherfucking there, right? Right there. Nothing I do is wrong. Everything I do is right, even when I do wrong.
Right.
And shut the fuck up talking to me with your black ass, Gayle.
The problem is she failed her detective test. She wasn't able to figure out how to solve crimes, apparently.
Wait, and then the crazy part is she opened up and said, I consider myself a sweet person, and then tell her black ass, shut the fuck up. Listen, you brought me on your show. I came on your show to sit here and apologize to get the heat off of me, right? And then I tell you, shut the fuck up while you talking to me and correcting me for my motherfucking bad behavior. But hey, it is what it is. If Shawty wasn't undercourt, I mean, I won't even say she's hiding her racism. Shawty had a little bit more ass. She should have caught it. You know what I'm saying? But she crazy though. She crazy. I know Sydney would hit it. I know Sydney Brown would.
No.
Girl. Sydney saw that captain said daddy and was like, that shit, listen, it says daddy to us, but in Sydney, he sees that shit says Sydney Brown.
Boy. It never fails. It never fails. It never fails.
Property of on the front, Sydney Brown on the back.
But that girl, even though she's technically over 21, that girl is suffering from CDD, crazy, deranged, and delusional. Like you said, Ken, she's entitled. This is what happens when things are quote unquote in your favor. You feel like you don't have to work for anything, or you just do enough just to get by. You think everything belongs to you. You think everybody should just kiss your ass and throw roses at your feet. This is what happens when reality hits you in the ass. And then I don't know if you guys heard my comment when she was talking about the father threw me down and dragged me. Trust me, if that happened, that footage would have been out there more than the footage of her attacking the 14-year-old boy.
Great point, Sydney. All right.
She needs a little CCD in her life, little Jesus, not that CDD.
Oh, I was like, when you said CCD, I was like, how you gonna put Sydney name in this? Sydney with a C, right? Little Sydney dick. That'll straighten us straight out.
The SBD. That's what it is.
No, I was a bitch till I start fucking Sydney Brown.
I went from CDD to SBD.
Now I see life in a whole different way. And I got mad jerseys. But look, one thing I definitely got to get into is Ryan.
Yes,
you said you're whoring again, you said, and you're going to reveal it during the show today. So I didn't know if your whoring was whoring of.
No, it's very PG. Very.
That's what. But so for anybody who doesn't know the context of Ryan's whoring, that you see Ryan on this with two black guys. Right. Ryan, we're not the first black guys he's had as far as friends. It goes. It's the running joke. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it like this. This is the thing. I asked Sydney Brown this. I know Sydney's going to feel me on this, right? I know Sydney's going to feel me. So, like, let's just say, like, interracial dating, right? Let's just say if I was out here in the streets, especially if I was younger. I think if you get to my age, people have dated other people. You know what I'm saying? If they had it, it's kind of weird. Like, I meet a girl, and she's in the upper 30s, and she's a virgin. I'm kind of going to be like, damn, what's going on with you? But still, that the point that I'm making is, let's just say I was dating a white girl. I necessarily wouldn't want her to be like, yeah, I just date black dudes, right? Because then it's like, man, you've been with Dwayne, Rico, Rollo, and all that. I'm like,
yeah, she been ran through for real.
Wow. I want the one that Daddy's telling her, no, don't do that. Like, I'm the first that brought her over to the other side, right? I told you Sydney would agree with me, right? But listen, listen, that's just a train of thought, incorrectly, but it's a train of thought. But in that train of thought, usually when you have white friends, sometimes you're their first black friend for the moment. But not to say that the first, but one of the ones that they've been closest to. You're in like the front three, right? But Ryan, no, he has to be out here. So Ryan said it at first. I'm like, you out here in the street stroking, and you out here stroking sisters? Hold up, no.
Do I got to come down there?
But no. Ryan has already found some black dude he's running the streets with.
No,
or
it's all
working
women.
out with, going to jail.
All women.
Oh, you hanging out with sisters?
Yes, at work. Made some co-worker friends.
Oh yeah, you would do that.
It was natural. It wasn't anything specific. It just happens. I don't know.
Right. He probably like pulled out his phone and showed the clip of the show.
No, not allowed. Not allowed. Remember?
Hey,
not
allowed. It's kind of like that.
Strict no phones.
Wait, if you ever saw the Seinfeld episode where George Costanza had the photo of like his hot ex-girlfriend in it, and he would show it to other girls because that would let them know.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Right, that's how you pulled us out. Like, hey, she's sitting here, kill. Hey.
No, I did like George at the end. I cut out a newspaper and it's of the girl that he's showing it to.
And also, one thing when we were doing the Gayle King thing, you guys, I don't know if you saw it. Sydney, you're old enough to see it. You don't remember Phil Hartman's caveman lawyer on SNL? Where he would and he would always like, the only thing he'd be defending somebody, and his argument to get them off would be like, hey, it's so new to me, it's different, the lights, right? Like that's what she was basically doing when she was talking to Gayle King. So tell us about these sisters that you're sneaking around with.
Well,
when are y'all having y'all out of work hanging out?
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of happened during training because we would be talking on the headset or through Microsoft Teams. And one lady, mother of 8, and she speaks her mind. And we just were kind of like helping the class, and we worked together for some mock calls when we were in the training, and just connected. And it was just very natural. That's what happens with me. It's always just very natural.
We know you're not doing date a mother of 8, so just say.
No, none of this is dating. All this is platonic.
Who's the other?
The other is a 19-year-old that sat right behind me. That all of a sudden one day we started talking a lot and actually went to lunch together the other day.
AJ,
but she has a boyfriend.
AJ, nothing but a number, all right, coming down.
Normally, yes. Normally, yes. But I think I'm getting too old for that. I think I'm getting too old for the teens. That might be too much.
You be on that like little peach fuzz or something, Ryan. That's how you getting down in these streets. Shout out to KMD. That's how you get down in these streets, right?
I need a bear peach.
Woo, that sounds like QAnon theories right there. You sound like a Democrat in the House right now.
Well, Republican, but thanks.
You're right. All right. Real quick, and get out of here on this. This is from Best Life. They rated the DC universe. All right. They included nearly every movie based on DC Comics, provided they were enough reviews to earn a film a Metascore on the site. Here we're refocusing on the lowest rated of the bunch, ranking them from tentatively received to panned. All right. That is Wonder Woman's is the 20. I mean, Wonder Woman 1984 is number 20. Birds of Prey 19. Joker 22. Joker is 18. Watchmen. So these actually, you could say, are considered to being good. Watchmen 17. Man of Steel 16. Aquaman 15. That's high for Aquaman. Even though it's cool, but I mean, it wasn't as bad to me as it was to Tony because he went to go see it at the show. Batman Forever is 14.
I got a problem with Wonder Woman being the best.
I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that.
Problem.
Batman Forever being 14 is crazy. Even though, you know what, I'm sure that this is the Batman's, that this doesn't include any of the Batman movies that Nolan did. So that lets you know how high those are acclaimed, that they're not on this list. Swamp Thing, the initial one, is 13. Constantine is 12. Constantine's better than that. Justice League is 11. Superman 3, the one with Richard Pryor, is 10. Matter of fact, thinking about it, I forgot. I
might have a problem with Justice League being that high.
Yeah. Just do this real quick. Share. Look, that's Richard Pryor right there with Superman. That movie was bad. We talked about it a little bit in an interview I did with Elliot Serrano a couple weeks back. The Losers, which I didn't see, is number 9. Batman vs. Superman is number 8. Martha.
Terrible. Terrible.
Suicide Squad is number 7.
Terrible.
Return of the Swamp Thing is number 6. Shout out to Heather Locklear. Green Lantern should be higher. Be lower. Is number 5. Jonah Hex, I didn't see this, is number 4. Batman and Robin is number 3. I think the other Batman movie should be right around this.
Whoa.
Catwoman is number 2. Yeah, that was a bad movie though. They set Haley up for failure. And Superman 4, which we talked about in that podcast with Elliot Serrano, is number 1. The Quest for Peace. Look at Christopher Reeves right there when he was healthy. Shout out to Christopher Reeves.
See, I got a problem with the Swamp Thing.
So anyway, guys.
The Swamp Thing's for me. Who cares?
It's a decent comic book. I'm with you, but we didn't grow up like he's Justice League Dark, I believe. I'm more of a Marvel than a DC.
Why
didn't Constantine?
Who was the first Batman with
Michael Keaton?
Alan West? No, the West.
Whoa. But that was they had a
TV
movie. They had a TV
right.
Yeah,
why is that on there?
First of all,
if we're gonna throw the Swamp Thing on there, that's what I'm saying. I'm throwing.
Adam West
If we're gonna put Swamp Thing, that should be on there.
But that Swamp Thing was a movie though. That was a television show that had a television movie, right? And also, you put the respect on Adam West in those tights, sir.
I am. I'm trying to get him on the list. How is that not
respect on there?
Okay. I think you're misguided in your disrespect sensor right there.
I think for me, Superman 3. I kind of as a kid liked the Swamp Things, and I don't care what you got to say.
Well, that's how I feel about Batman Forever.
But Batman Forever isn't on here.
Yeah, it is. It's 14. Wait, remember, it was too high for you?
Batman 14 is, you're right, Batman Forever. Batman Forever was trash.
See, that's how you liked the Swamp Things as a kid. I liked Batman Forever as a kid. So
okay, I can give you that. I can give you that then. When thinking about you being a kid and it's got what's the name in it playing the Riddler, I could see you going with that. Sydney, what was your worst ones?
Probably I'm with Ryan, the Batman Forever and Batman
worst.
Yeah,
no, Ryan was saying it wasn't bad.
I think it was worse for me. Well, for me, it was the worst. Like the first couple when they came out with Michael Keaton back in the day, the late '80s, early '90s. Those couple ones I liked, but after the Jim Carrey one, he played the Joker, not the Joker, but the Riddler.
Oh yeah, my God, the disrespect coming out of Sidney Brown.
But after that, I was like,
Sidney Brown, shoot across the screen.
Passing around and shit.
Yeah, bad.
Jim Carrey, I think, was in it. He played a character, something like that. I'm with you. That movie's terrible.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
What disrespect, Sydney.
Hey, so
I hope you and Soho Karen have beautiful sons.
Ryan, how does the 19-year-old girl look that you had lunch with?
I don't know.
See, this is the real reason why he's not dipping into the child.
No. She's cute. She's cute.
I don't know.
Too young, and she has a boyfriend. I went through a breakup. I kind of sympathize with the boyfriend a little bit.
How old is she?
19.
That ain't really a boyfriend.
Yeah, but too young. I'm looking at like 18-year-olds as like my kids.
How old are you now?
About to be 32 in a few months.
Man, 19 is pretty young for you.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Too young in the teens. Sorry.
It's not too
young. Can't even take her out for a drink.
Oh, yes, you can.
23 and up, Brian. 23 and up.
All I gotta do is order it for myself and then slide it over. I'm gonna be one of those guys.
Pour some into another glass.
All right. Can I get one drink, 2 glasses? Thank you.
Right, or all you do is when you just get it in the liquor store and y'all drink it in the car.
Right. You got an extra bag? Thank you.
Oh, when she asked you to get that Boone's Farm, that's how you know how old she is in that Mad Dog 2020. Those entry-level drinks. All right.
God.
All right. Well, listen, make sure you check out Sydney on Second City Sports and his articles at We Are Riga Radio. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of hockey articles in particular coming out pretty soon. Support We Are Riga Radio. Make sure you check out That Davis Show this week. We're probably going to be doing a couple episodes in the morning time before Ryan goes off to make the donuts with the young girls and the lady with the farm.
Make donuts. I haven't heard
with
that
the farm
before.
family. With the what? The lady got all the kids. The ages range from what to what? Do you know?
Her youngest is 6 months.
Fresh.
And I don't know how old her eldest. I want to say around 10.
Damn, they bunched up.
Maybe older. I don't know about the oldest. I only know the youngest for sure.
That would almost mean outside of 2 years, she had a kid every year. If it's from 10 to 6 months.
She's basically having. I told her, she's like her lucky number 7. I'm like, give me this one. You'll have 7. It'll be perfect.
Okay, I thought you. She's like, give me your black babies.
Okay, see where. I'm trying to turn this into a normal human beings interacting, and you got to turn into race per usual.
I was turning into sexual more than I was turning into race.
Well,
when you
were flirting the line on both.
When you said "give me one," I thought you were saying that you was.
I think you were like a skier, like trying to toe the line on both sides. Let me just
race, sex,
race, sex. Cindy Brown.
On that note.
All right. We always appreciate it. Everybody, take care of yourself. Don't do anything crazy. I haven't pulled this out in a long time, but this week makes me have to pull it out. And don't do anything crazy before you hear from us again. Sydney.
We go.